Hello, 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 and Happy New Year's. Welcome in 2019. This is the Urban Surfer Glenn T, and you are listening to Riding the Wave. Just want to say Happy New Year's to everybody. Hopefully everybody was safe. Everybody enjoyed themselves. Everybody is goal-minded this year. We got all of that 2018 off our back. Can't complain about 2018 at all. It's been a great year too, but hopefully 2019 will bring much more. And for all of everybody, I just want to wish you the best 2019 so far. So if you're just tuning in, this is Riding the Wave. This is your Urban Surfer Glenn T. If you want to contact me, my Facebook hold is rtw.podcast. My Twitter hold is Glenn_town. And my Gmail address is ridingthewave.podcast@gmail.com. Of course, you can catch me on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spreaker, and Spotify. More venues to come, website coming soon. So, you guys have any plans for this year so far? One good thing I can actually mention is with these plans, they can be accomplished, they can be done, you can actually do the things that you want to do. But it brings me to my topic for today. In order to do the things that you want to do, you have to ask yourself, are you true to yourself? Brand new year, brand new time. You have a fresh slate to think about. Obviously, this is the top of the year. Everything resets, at least mentally, for quite a few people. So this is time to ask yourself, are you true to yourself? That is something that we may overlook, but that is something that is extremely important, especially when you're setting goals, especially when you're trying to accomplish things and see yourself in a way of life. You have to be true to yourself. That is the very first step. I mean, that's definitely easier said than done. So let's look at some signs that you might be losing a grip on who you are, or losing a grip on you being yourself. Easier said than done. But one of the signs is that if you emotionally make decisions, if you make decisions emotionally, you're upset. So I'm just going to do this because it makes things go away or it makes things better. That is a good gateway to losing yourself, because it's now you're doing things to satisfy the situation and not so much what to satisfy you. Remember, you have to live with yourself. This is something that you have to think about sometimes. People live in the decisions that they make. That one little decision that you made, you may be unhappy with it. You've done it emotionally. I don't want to deal with this situation anymore. I'm just going to decide anyway. You really don't want to do something, but yet you do it because it's just an emotional decision. You're exhausted. You're tired. You're frustrated. You say, hey, this is it. Is that being true to yourself? No. A lot of the decisions that we make are not just end result. It's something collateral after that, possibly residual. When you make a decision, a lot of times after that decision is made and that result is finalized, there's a new path that's formed from that. You may be walking yourself down a path that you don't want to walk yourself down just because you've done something sheerly out of emotion. How many times people say, hey, it's over? How many times people say that between each other in arguments? That's an emotional decision. You can't tell me that in the heat of the moment you didn't say something that you didn't mean. It's very hard to remain focused under those circumstances. So that's a sign that you're getting lost in the sauce, so to speak. You're not really true to yourself. You start making decisions emotionally. You just say, hey, I don't want to deal with this situation anymore, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it that way. And walking right into the next sign is that you're unhappy with your choices. Now that you've made this choice, it's causing you grief. You can't commit to the thing that you've actually said you would commit to because you may not be capable. But here it is, you emotionally decided, and now you're stuck with your choice. So now you're unhappy. Oh, I don't want to do this. What did I just say? What did I just do? What did I get myself into? We don't want to start that in the 2019 year. Again, we're 1 year away from it being 2020. Let's kind of button down and really start being true to ourselves. How much time do we actually have here? We're looking at these years just slide right past us. Some are good, some are not so good, but they're adding up. We just want to start preparing ourselves a good way of starting to prepare ourselves is being true to yourself. Stop emotionally deciding. Hey, it's over because you didn't do the dishes. Or fine, I'll do exactly what you say because I'm tired of that mouth. Stop these kind of decisions. This is you're losing a grip. So we know that another sign is when you're unhappy with your choices. You made a choice, you've committed to it, and it's just ruining you inside. You know for sure that there's certain things called bad decisions. And sometimes these decisions are made just because you're trying to satisfy an external source. What else are signs that you might be losing a grip on being true to yourself? And for those that's listening, this is the Urban Surfer Glenn T. Anybody want to feature me on their podcast, please reach out to me. You're listening to Riding the Wave. Signs you're losing a grip. The outcome becomes secondary. You don't care what happens. You're just deciding now. All right, let's just do that. You could be walking yourself into certain disaster and you're just like, let's just do that. Come on. Now, if you was under your normal mindset, your normal set of logic, your parameters, you wouldn't do something like that. But it's like, now, let's just do it. Who cares if it's right or wrong? Who cares if it's good or bad? Let's just get it off the plate. It's been a question too long. Let's make it an answer. Now, if you were being true to yourself, that wouldn't happen. You would hold firm. You would just say, listen, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't need to do that. But now it's just like, I don't care what happens. I've already assessed the outcome. But it doesn't matter what happens next. I just want to decide now. I just want to get it out of here. So the outcome is just secondary. It just doesn't matter. The decision becomes primary. Just the fact that you make the decision was good enough for you doesn't matter what happens next. Is that being true to yourself? I would beg to differ if you said yes. Since we're on the roll, let's put another sign out there. What's another sign that you're losing a grip on who you truly are? That true self, that inner self that you have. What's another sign? Another sign for me is when you're always putting yourself last. You ever met that person before? Everybody's at this brainstorming stage or whatever the case is, and it's like they may have the cure for cancer, but just the fact that someone else is talking about it and someone else seems to be more confident in their path, you say, hey, let's try that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That sounds like a good idea. You got in the back of the line just now, and you probably had the most solid idea. It's like, hey, I think they're better than that. They got a control of things. Look at the confidence that's coming out that person's mouth. Look at the way they exude that confidence. Look at the way they stand, they talk. Puts an introvert in their place that doesn't have a strong belief in themselves, and they're not true to who they are. Many good ideas, secondary in nature. So you always find yourself putting yourself in last place. Everybody's better than you. Everybody's idea will work before yours. And whether you believe it or not, whether you truly inwardly believe it or not, you would still allow a person to go first. You may be losing yourself and you don't even realize it. So we know for 2019, it's a new year, brand new. The ball just dropped and we have a whole month ahead of us and 11 more to come after that. God willing, of course. How do we get ourselves back? We can start now. How do we actually get ourselves back? And again, for those who are listening to Riding the Wave with the Urban Surfer Glenn T, these perceptions are always my own. These are my truths, my realities. These are not written in stone. My only mission is to change one mind a day in a positive way. If I can do so, wonderful. If not, I will be going back to the drawing board. And you guys know I go back to the drawing board 3 times a week. So I don't mind if a person agrees with me, if a person doesn't agree with me. I just want to put myself out there, and hopefully somebody will just get an idea like there's options. There's other ways of thinking. So how do you get yourself back from losing yourself? Are you true to yourself? Obviously, if we've gotten this far and you see some of these signs, it's safe to say that you may not be true to yourself to the level that you should be. If you're completely true to yourself or not, that's left to be said. I wouldn't know better than you, more than likely. But one thing I can say is we do have ways of finding ourselves again. It's very simple, but the first way is just stop compromising. Put yourself first. You have to put yourself first sometimes because, and not all the time, that's why I said sometimes, but you have to put yourself first more often because you know what's better for you than the next person that you're standing with, or the next person that you're talking to, or the next person that you're involved with. You wake up and go to sleep to yourself every day. Stop allowing other people to dictate your path for you. Your ideas are just as good, or if not better. Stop compromising. Be first in your life. Be first in your decision processes. We put everybody first. Our kids, our family, our friends, our jobs. And all of these things are important by any stretch of the imagination. But how much more important are you in association with these things? The reason why these scenarios exist is because of you. Put yourself first. What is best for you? You need a day off? Take it. You need to be alone for a couple of hours? Take that time to yourself. You don't have to force yourself to communicate with anyone. You have your own way of solving a problem, then solve the problem in comparison to the way the problem is normally solved. Let's see if your results are any better. Put yourself to the test. Another way to get yourself back. Start to assess the things that you want in life. It's very simple. What are the things that you want life to give to you? In this worldly life, we are here once and once only. Some people may beg to differ. I don't choose to argue any otherwise. This is, again, my beliefs. We have one worldly life. So there are things that you probably want to do. There are things that you want out of this life. And there are things that you want to be remembered for. Start to assess these things. Start to really give it good thought. What do you want out of life? Do you want a bunch of education, a bunch of babies, a bunch of money? Really give yourself a sit down and figure out what it is you want. Because this will help you find out who you are. And this will allow you to be true to yourself. If you know you like vegetables, then stop eating meat all the time. It's simple. Just be true to yourself. Figure it out. What are the things that you want? Do you want to be a traveler? Do you want to be a book writer? Figure it all out. Not that hard at all. For those people with memory problems, you can always write this stuff down and revisit it. But the whole concept is just to go ahead and assess some of the things that you want. And don't be scared if some of the things that you want are less than socially accepted. You just want to at least know what it is that you want. Form a direction for yourself. Create a path. This way, at least you would know, hey, this is what I like, this is what I want, and you can start to make the assessment. Should I be able to do this? Should I commit to this way of life? Should I leave it alone? But these are all steps on being true to yourself. So, stop compromising. Put yourself first. Assess the things that you want. And actually just go for it. Take the initiative to, once you figure it out, this is what I want, then just pick something on that list and just aim. Be the best that you can possibly be in that one facet that you pick from your list. That one item, that one way of life, that one hobby, that one decision. Stop deciding things with your emotions. Give yourself a little space from your scenario just so you can logically think it out. This way you know that you're actually giving it thought as opposed to just pushing it off your plate. You'll start to see the results. You'll become more happy. You'll feel more empowered. These are things that you want. Just go for the things that you want. After you make that list, just go for it. You don't have to feel so obligated to do one thing or another. Or if you feel that you got to do these things, do it on the time that you're most comfortable with. Bring your situation to the table. Everything is up for negotiation. If a person wants this and you have that, then meet somewhere in the middle. Everyone's capable to some degree. We don't need to go into 2019 being unhappy with our choices, pushing things off of our plates. Who cares if this happens or that happens? I just want to get the decision off me. People are not saying, I want a divorce or I want to break up with you or whatever, because they're just emotionally stating things. They're emotionally deciding. They're not even being true to themselves. They're not being true to you. You can't be true to anybody if you don't start with yourself. This is something that we just really want to go ahead and give consideration to moving forward. Stop compromising. Put yourself first. Assess the things that you want. Go and aim for those goals. Succeed. See them through. Fail. But see them through. Either way. Be true to yourself. Create that character for yourself.
Give yourself a stronger back. All of these things will build character. It forms who you are as a person. And then it'll be forming the true you, not the perception of you that you may not agree with. If you want a piece of advice, the only thing that should be secondary is others' feelings, because you're logically making a decision for yourself. Logically. So if your emotions are secondary, the next person should also be secondary. Keep in mind, people will always understand if the decision is best for you. If they want what's best for you, they'll always understand that that is the best thing for you, and they'll let it go. Stop worrying about so many people's emotions. We're not as worried about your decision as you think. Just decide. Decide what's best for yourself. People compromise all the time without losing themselves. Compromise when it's only necessary, not compromise when it's at your expense. We're all individuals. We all stand on our own 2 feet, and we all have to live our own individual lives. This is the Urban Surfer Glenn T, wishing you a happy New Year's. This is 2019. You've been riding the wave. Let's go ahead and bring it to coast in a smooth, relaxing, and calm way. Reach out to me. Be safe. And get where you're going. Take care.